Hey guys, what's going on? Jamie here. Wanted to do a quick overview for Tron Treasury. This is a platform that just launched. It was actually stealth launched a couple of days ago. No hype, no build up, just launched nice and smooth. And yeah, this is brought to you by the team that actually brought out Tron Chain a couple of years ago. If you guys remember, if you've been in the space that long, Tron Chain was a platform that launched and ran for about a year, had over 700,000 members. Just a monster of a platform, guys. And of course, we can't guarantee that this is going to have the same type of results. But of course, we don't operate in a vacuum. You have to look at the past track record of the team and what they've done in the past. So again, super bullish on that. We got into Tron Chain way back when, did really, really well. Actually, it was Ether Chain before. It was on the Ethereum network. They transitioned over to Tron Chain or the Tron network and turned it into Tron Chain because the gas fees on the Ethereum network were way, way high, if you guys remember that. And once it was in on the Tron network, took off like a rocket ship. So, like I said, 700,000 members. Just unbelievable what was able to be done with that contract. No rug pull, no exploit in the contract, no backdoors, no malicious anything malicious happened. It just ran its course. The code was solid, dev is solid, but it just ran its course. That inevitably happens with these platforms. And towards the end, the contract, wasn't able to sustain the entire membership. But that you can't take away from the fact that it was, a super powerful platform. Lots of people who got in early did really, really well. And again, you have that opportunity to get in early with this because again, this one only has about 500 members. It's been out since Friday. It was stealth launched on Friday, so that just about almost 72 hours. Has around 550 members, something like that. So there's barely anybody in this thing. So again, for me, when I look at all the different rug pulls that are happening in the space right now, platforms that are having issues, you guys know what I'm talking about. When you have something that comes out from a solid team, competent devs, a solid platform, and a track record that they built, for me, I need to pay attention to that. Again, I can make this something that can be a central hub in my entire portfolio. Not that there's anything wrong with getting into some of these other platforms, some of these higher risk things. I'll do that. It's that's I've been known to do that on my channel if you've been on my channel, but to have a central hub where you can build around, you can build around that platform. That's something that that can be done with this. We'll see. Of course, we'll see what happens. But super bullish on this. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Of course, I want to start off by saying that I am not a financial advisor. Never take anything I say as financial advice. If you are going to get into Tron Treasury or anything we talk about, please do your own research and due diligence and only put in what you can afford to lose, guys. Okay. Risk capital only. Also, follow me on Telegram. I will leave a link for that down below. If you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the little bell icon so you'll get notified straight away whenever I do a brand new video. So, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Before I go into the slides, guys, some quick differences. And again, at the risk of jumping ahead of myself, let me just get this out of the way, and then we'll kind of cover it in more detail, with these slides. But one of the things with Tron Chain, and again, hate talking about another platform, but again, it's from this team, and you do have to kind of make a reference to it, right? So you have some perspective. One of the things that was one of the things that was good and bad about Tron Chain was it was very, very aggressive, right? It paid out 1% a day till you hit 310%, and after you hit 310%, you can go back in to continue earning, but you only had to put in what like a deposit that was equal to your previous deposit. So, for example, people would go in, they would make 310%, right? 1% a day until they had 310%. Then they would go back in, pull out another 310%, go back in, pull out another 310%. And they would just wash, rinse, repeat. And it was just a money printer, right? It was just going crazy. Like I said, people who got in the beginning, it was bananas, right? This particular contract, right? They took the best of Tron Chain and they've tweaked it a little bit to make it more sustainable, right? This one pays out 0.8% a day, not 1% a day. And instead of hitting 310%, you make 220%. So this one, it's 0.8% a day, 7 days a week, till you hit 220%. If you want to go back in and continue earning and make a new deposit, you have to put in 150%, 150% of your previous deposit. So for example, for me, I put in 10K, right? Almost 10K, 100,000 Tron was the max deposit on your first cycle. By the way, every cycle you complete, you can go back in with a bigger deposit. So on the first deposit, the max was 100,000 Tron. I put in 100,000 Tron. So once I hit 220%, I got to go back in with 150,000 Tron, right? Then I hit 220% of that. I have to go back in with 150% of that deposit, if that makes sense, right? So again, they do this so that if you want to whale up or ape into this thing, you have to do it in stages. Originally, people could just put in whatever they wanted to, and then whales would come in and they would just start draining the contract from day one, right? From the second day they're in, boom, because they put in a monster deposit, they're starting to pull out crazy amounts from the contract, right? Not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, that was the rules of the game back then, right? Here, you have to go back in with 150% of your deposit. So what does that mean? If you come in and make 220%, you come back in with 150%, you're still netting 70% profit. So every cycle that you complete, you're netting 70%, assuming you're going back in, of course. You can just simply walk away and say, I'm done. I'm going to walk away with my 220%. But if you're going to continuously come back in, and if you're making money, I don't see why you wouldn't want to come back in. You're making 220% profit, but you're netting 70% because you're going back in with 150%. So every cycle you complete is a 70% profit. It's more conservative than the original Tron chain, but still very aggressive in today's climate, right? In the space we're in, very, very competitive. And it's designed, like I said, for longevity, for sustainability. Whales can't just come in and drop a crazy amount. They have to do it in cycles. So they have to complete, 4 cycles, 5 cycles before they're able to put in, 1.2 million TRX, if that's what they want to put in, right? Of course, you don't have to put that. I'm going to talk about the numbers here in a second. But again, there are some, it's a same team, solid team, same solid track record, but they've tweaked it a little bit for longevity because they really want this to be around for a while. So, like I said, I probably jumped ahead of myself, but I had to give you some perspective here before I go into the slides here. So let's go ahead and just jump into it. This is the brand new slides, by the way. They just released these updated slides. So I did a review. Those slides are the old slides. This is the new slides right here. This is Tron Treasury. It says here, the ultimate smart contract built on the Tron network, a community experiment designed with the intention of acting as a fair and just treasury for the people. What is a smart contract? Again, I'm going to assume that you guys know what a smart contract is, so I can get to the actual numbers of how this platform works. But again, this is a smart contract. It interacts with your Tron Link wallet. You need to download a Tron Link wallet, right? That's sort of like the MetaMask of the Tron network, right? MetaMask is an Ethereum wallet. It's a wallet that's downloaded onto your Chrome browser. TronLink is the same, but for the Tron network. Now, could you use other wallets? I believe you can use Clever. There might be another one, I'm not sure, but TronLink is, the wallet of choice, very easy to use. I've been using TronLink for years. And again, you can download it and obviously load it up with Tron, with a TRX, okay? I covered that in my initial review. You can go to Changely, you can go to changenow.io, go to any swap site, swap out some crypto for TRX. Of course, you need to have your wallet address so that they know where to send your TRX to. And then once your TRX is in your wallet, you're good to go, right? Watch that review, by the way, if you haven't. So again, what is the Tron Treasury? Tron Treasury is a decentralized smart contract which is created as a community experiment, allowing for a fully decentralized treasury aid for the people. It is a place where everyone supports everyone through smart contract technology on the Tron blockchain. Anyone can participate in Tron Treasury, and once you've made the first deposit, you will activate the contract code, which will be tied to your wallet. You'll then start to receive 0.8% daily. Again, that's 7 days a week from the Treasury every 24 hours until 220% is received. Minimum deposit is 200 TRX. Again, this is on the first cycle. And the maximum deposit is 100,000 TRX. Now, again, you can go anywhere from anywhere you fit between the minimum and the maximum, you can go in. I went in with 100,000 TRX, but of course, you don't have to do that. Once your cycle is completed and you hit 220%, your next deposit has to be either 150% minimum up to 200% maximum. So in other words, if I came in with 100,000 TRX, that's pretty easy math. I got to come in with a minimum 150,000 TRX on my next cycle, or 200,000 TRX. So that's the minimum. This is the maximum. Of course, work out whatever numbers works out for you. If you put in 10,000 TRX, adjust the numbers. But again, there's a minimum and a maximum. I'm gonna, as soon as I finish my first cycle, I'm going in with the maximum. I'm going in with 200,000 TRX, and I'm gonna do that, until I cycle over and over. That's just, we'll do another video on strategy, but this is just going to be an overview. But again, you can hit that 220%, by the way, not just from passive daily returns. It could be through the affiliate commissions as well. So there's a couple ways you can hit that 220%. Of course, if you're building a team, you're sharing this, you'll obviously hit the 220% faster than if you were completely passive. So pick which way you want to do it. Of course, the disclaimer is there is no guarantee in Tron Treasury, as there is no additional funds generated in the contract. It is a pre-programmed smart contract that's based on the community. People give and receive from each other through a fully decentralized system. Again, the rule of thumb, if you give to the contract, you'll be able to receive from the contract. Very simple. And again, this is new, by the way. Okay, very, very new. Total distribution of deposited funds. This is the breakdown. When a deposit goes into the contract, 5%, it gets split up this way: 5% platform fee, 10% direct referral bonus, 3% daily top sponsor pool. So there's a sponsor pool every single day. 2% goes into an insurance pool, and 80% goes into the treasury pool. That's where the 0.8% daily comes from. That's also where the matching bonuses, the 7-level matching bonuses, which I'll show you here in a second, comes from that as well. So again, that's the treasury pool. So again, minimum and maximum deposits, I touched on this already. Minimum and maximum deposit limit is set to ensure the treasury and community has a healthy and sustainable growth, as well as fair contribution towards the treasury itself. As I mentioned, the first deposit minimum is 200 TRX, max is 100,000 TRX. Again, once you cycle and you hit your 220%, your second deposit, assuming you want to come back in, minimum is 150% of the last deposit, up to a maximum of 200% of the last deposit. So example, I did an example on my personal numbers, but this one, let's say you put in 10,000 TRX. Once you hit 22,000 TRX received, your next deposit will have to be a minimum of 15,000 TRX or up to a maximum of 20,000 TRX, right? Simple enough. So again, the minimum and maximum limit of 150% to 200% is locked to all cycles until you reach the maximum amount possible. So the maximum deposit, if you do a deposit of 1.2 million TRX, right, then you don't have to follow this rule anymore. You don't have to keep coming in with 150% or 200% next cycle. From there, you can just go back in with a 1.2 million TRX. That's the maximum deposit that can go into this contract. And again, you can go in for unlimited cycles. So my goal is to try to hit that as soon as possible, and go in with unlimited cycles using that big amount, because that would be crazy, right? 1.2 million TRX, pretty wild. But again, you build up to that. Now, early in the early version of this Tron chain a couple of years ago, it wasn't a scalable, it wasn't cycles like this. Once you hit your 310%, not to confuse you and talk about that, but just to give you some perspective, there was no 150% rule on your next deposit. You just came back in with another deposit. So again, it was aggressive. It was good in the sense that it was aggressive and people were making money hand over fist. But again, that wasn't able to. It's not going to be able to sustain itself now with these type, compared to these type of mechanics. And yet, it still ran for almost a year. So, testament to their team. Anyway, how does the Treasury work? Deposit TRX to the Tron Treasury, contract of your wallet browser. The contract code will be activated. 24 hours, you will receive your first 0.8% return, and you'll continue to receive 0.8% every 24 hours until you hit 220% of your deposit. course, you can hit the 220% deposit several ways if you're sharing this with other people, because obviously the comp plan, the affiliate comp plan does get included into that 220%. So again, you can hit your 220% faster if you're sharing this with other people. So 4 ways you can hit the 220%. 0.8% daily return paid to all users as a passive income. Of course, if you're going to be completely passive, it's the only way you'll be able to do it. But if you're sharing this with other people, that 220% will include any direct referral commissions you get, matching commissions on your partner's daily return up to 7. This is the secret sauce, guys. This is the what's the word? This is the key right here is these matching bonuses, 7-level matching bonuses, guys. That's insane. Okay. I remember, gosh, man, I could look back at that. It was, what was it, 2020 or 2021 when Tron Chain was out? It was insane. The matching bonuses, insane. Okay. Anyway, you can make up to 7 levels matching commissions on your partner's daily return. And then there's also a daily top sponsor bonus consisting of 3% of all deposits to Tron Treasury. So comp plan is crazy. It looks simple because there's only 3 ways you can make money, but it is extremely robust. Imagine getting a match for what you're, a matching commission on your partner's daily passive income up to 7 levels deep, right? People don't understand that. I'm convinced that people don't, because if people understood that, they'd be jumping into this thing and sharing this. But they will understand it. You know when they're going to understand it? When they see other people here crushing it, making a crazy amount of money daily from this 7-level match, then they're going to say, "Oh my gosh, what's going on over there?" That's when because that's what happened with Ether chain that eventually turned into Tron chain. Not everybody was jumping into it until people started to seeing how much was being withdrawn by some of the the leaders that got in early, and then it just snowballed. It's the same thing's going to happen here. I'm convinced of that. The question is, are you going to be one of the early people, or are you going to jump on this later? Right? People who jumped in, jump in later, they're always like kicking themselves. Oh man, I got in late. We're giving you an opportunity to jump in early on this thing. Daily return of 0.8%. Again, when making a deposit to Tron Treasury, as mentioned before, you receive 0.8% daily every 24 hours. So again, that's pretty straight. That's pretty direct how that works. There's also yet a 10% direct referral commission, right? Pretty straightforward. Anyone you personally refer, when they make a deposit to the contract, you're making a 10% direct commission. Okay. Again, as I said before, this is the secret sauce, team matching commissions. The team matching commission is based upon your partner's daily 0.8% return. It's calculated and paid out every time a downline partner makes a withdrawal of the accumulated 0.8%. The levels of matching bonus you receive is based upon how many direct partners you have. You will open 1 level for each direct partner. So each level, right, there's 7 levels. Each level is opened up by having a direct partner. So for example, if you sponsor one person, right, refer one person, that opens up your first level. That's a 30% match. When you sponsor your second level, that opens up your second level. That's a 50% match. On your third level, you need to, sponsor your third person. That opens up that level. That's a 5% match, so forth and so on. I think you get it. So to open up 7 levels, you'll need to refer 7 people and all your levels are open. And again, it's 30% on your first level, 15% on your second, 5% on your third, 4% on your fourth, and then 3% on your 5th, 6th, and 7th level. So that's pretty powerful. If you add that up, that's what, 45, 30 plus 15 is 45, 45 plus 5 is 50, 54, 57, 66. That's 63%. Guys, wrap your head around that. 63% you're getting match. Don't be late on this. I'm telling you. Don't say I didn't tell you. No daily top sponsor pool. 3% of all deposits to Tron Treasury is set aside in a separate top sponsor pool. Every day, 10% of this pool is awarded and shared among the top 4 sponsors of the day. Okay. So again, the remaining 90% of the pool is rolled over to the next day. So again, once this pool is building up, 10% is paid out every day. The 90% of the pool is rolled over to the next day's pool so that it's always increasing, right? It always increases the rewards. So again, once that thing gets snowballing and rolling, people are going to make, just from the top sponsor pool, people that are sharing this, they're going to be making insane amounts. Again, Again, they give it to the top four. So first place gets 40% of the 10%. Second place gets 30% of the 10%. Third place gets 20% of the 10%, and fourth place gets 10% of the 10%. So, real quick, couple of other quick details as we wrap up. There's an insurance contract. Okay, the insurance contract is an additional feature added for the safety of users. It will only be activated in the event that the main contract balance goes to zero. The insurance contract is coded to all users that is yet to receive at least 100% of their total deposit back. So again, if you've received more than 100% or more of your initial, then this won't, you're not going to be able to get this. But if you haven't hit your initial yet, then this insurance contract will kick in, and it'll give you some payments. So again, the insurance contract is contributed to by all users of the Tron Treasury smart contract. 2% of all deposits to the Tron Treasury is added to the insurance contract immediately. 10 to 20% of the amount withdrawn by users is deducted and added to the insurance contract. So again, when you withdraw, there's a tax. Pretty normal, pretty standard. A lot of these platforms have taxes, right? Whether it's a smart contract or a centralized platform, there's always some form of tax. Taxes is what makes these things move. Taxes is what makes these platforms sustainable. You've heard me say that many, many times, but this is normal. So again, a portion of that goes into the insurance contract. Okay. So again, the insurance contract is there. If the contract balance goes to zero, people that haven't hit their initial, they'll have a pool of funds to draw from, which is great. Okay. So a couple of bullet points, just to recap, Tron Treasury is a community-based project, 100% decentralized. There's no guarantee with Tron Treasury. As you guys know, there's no guarantees in this space. It's a community-based platform, community-based contract. Once 220% is received, a new deposit of minimum 150% must be done to continue receiving. You can only deposit a maximum of 200% of your last deposit. Minimum entry is 200 TRX, right? That's on your first cycle. No referrals needed in order to receive the 0.8%. It's 100% passive. And of course, as I mentioned before, you can increase the speed of how fast you receive the 220% through sharing, building a team, building out your network, and referring others. Okay. So again, very, very simple. You can see here, this is the UI, very simple. Just a couple of tutorials here that you can click on, right? How to join, guide, but again, it's very simple. You have your TronLink wallet open, you connect to the DApp, and then here you can simply join, right? Look how young it is. There's only a little bit over 1 million TRX in the entire contract. Okay. So again, what you would do is you would click on here, right? Let's say you want to put in 10,000 Tron, you would put there 10,000 Tron. Let's say you want to put in, it has different blocks here. So again, you don't have to fall into one of these specific blocks. Let's say you wanted to put 20,000 Tron in. There's no 20,000 block here. It goes from 10,000 Tron to 30,000 Tron. You would simply click the 10,000 Tron button twice. Then it populates 20,000. Then you'll go ahead and click join. I can't do it because I've already maxed out at the 100,000. And then that's it. You're off to the races. Okay. So again, so far there's been 1.3 million TRX deposited. 90,000 has been withdrawn. There's still 1.1 million. This is super young, guys. It's not even 72 hours. There's the amount that I put in, 100,000 TRX. So again, you want to check this out. You do need to have TRX in your TronLink wallet. One thing you might want to do is you might want to, again, watch my initial review video. I talked about energy and bandwidth. If you want to increase that, like in your MetaMask wallet, right, you can always increase the GUI to make the transactions go through, make it faster, et cetera, et cetera. Well, because TronLink is not MetaMask, the way you would do that same process, you can increase your energy or bandwidth. So I talked about that, and I even show how to do that in my initial video. So go ahead and check that out. But yeah, that's it. You're good to go. So again, if you want to check this out, I will leave a link down below. This is my wallet address. You want to double check that. TACSRU is my wallet address. And last but not least, if you are in the US, there's going to be a pop-up saying that US members are not allowed to join. Message me if you have a question about that. Obviously, I'm in this thing, so that should give you a clue. But yeah, you can, check this out. And yeah, that being said, that's a wrap for this quick overview. Hopefully, I went into as much detail that you need to make an educated decision. And with that being said, follow me on Telegram, subscribe to the channel. As always, guys, do your own research and due diligence and only put in what you can afford to lose, guys. Okay. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.